Lovely by you asking of me. But you said if they had my soul tender on. What do you seek? When your hands fold in prayer, but your heart folds in fear. You ask for peace, but you walk past war. You beg for truth, but you close your door to the cries of the broken, the pleas of the small. You pray to the heavens, but ignore the call. You light your candles, you burn your sage, but silence your soul when it burns with rage. You chant his name, recite the verse, but do nothing when your brother hurts. You fast in daylight, feast at night, but never once stand up and fight for the girl they shamed, for the man they crushed. You bow your head, but your spirit's hushed. What do you seek if you won't stand tall? What do you pray when you watch truth fall? You fold your hands, but turn your cheek. So I ask you now, what do you seek? What do you seek? You call him merciful, you call him just, but when justice knocks, you hide in dust. You wear your beads, you dress so clean, but your heart's still stitched with cowardly seams. You fear man's judgment more than God's flame, so you stay quiet and play the game. You think your offerings will make you whole, but what of your silence? What of your soul? It's not the prayer that saves your skin, it's the life you live, the fight within. If you pray for light, but walk with lies, don't be shocked when the fire never dies. Do you pray for blessings, or just to escape the cost of truth? Because blessings without backbone are curses in disguise. Do you pray for blessings, or curses in disguise? What do you seek if you won't stand tall? What do you pray when you watch truth fall? You fold your hands, but turn your cheek. So I ask you now, what do you seek? God hears the cries, but he watches the courage. What do you seek if you can't stand for truth? They wear halos on Sunday, but by Monday, they disappear.
You show up fresh in your holy whites, front row seat under chandelier lights, Bible in hand, eyes closed in praise. But where are you when the world's ablaze? You're loud in prayer but mute in pain. You sing of freedom yet bow to chains, posting verses with polished pride, but never once walked to the other side. You preach forgiveness, love thy foe, but when the poor knock, you shut your door. Holy water can't wash that lie if you won't speak up when justice dies. Sunday saints, where do you go when silence is sin, but you say no show? You dance in grace, but you serve the game. You saints in church, outside just names. You judge the broken from a pew so high, but would you kneel for the ones who cry? You wear that cross like a crown of gold, but you miss the message, truth ain't so. You're fine with wrong as long as it pays. You trade your morals for social praise. You bless your food but poison your heart, and think good faith is just playing the part. If your God don't move you to stand, then it's not God, it's just a brand. Religion ain't theater, holiness ain't fame. If you don't walk truth, don't wear his name. Faith without action is fraud. Prayers without protest are empty. If you sit with liars, eat with cowards, and still call yourself righteous, you're not saved, you're safe. Sunday saints, where do you go when silence is sin, but you say no show? You dance in grace, but you serve the game. You but live your truth. The real God's watching, not your Sunday suit.
You think truth is free? Try speaking it and watch the price tag hit. Truth don't come with applause, it comes with scars. It don't buy fans, it breaks your mask. It'll cost your job, your sleep, your peace. It'll turn your dinner into war at least. It don't sit pretty with power or pride. It shakes the table, flips the lie. It'll lose you friends who said ride or die until the truth got real. Now they just lie. It'll leave you alone but clean inside while the cowards laugh and the wicked hide.
Truth ain't cheap, it'll cost your seat. It don't play safe, it don't kiss feet. But if you walk that line with your chest upright, you might bleed today, but you'll sleep right.
Truth will never trend, it won't go viral, but it lives in the hearts of those who chose survival. Of soul over fame, of justice over game, of silence broken in a world gone insane. You'll be mocked, you'll be blacklisted, labeled as bitter, angry, twisted. But listen, that's just the sound of the fearful flinching. When truth starts lifting what they were pinching, you won't win fast, but you win deep. Cause fake dies young, but the truth don't sleep. You'll bury your pride, you'll swallow heat, but what you'll gain, no gold can beat. The cost of truth is everything you thought you needed, but the reward is everything you forgot you.
Truth ain't cheap, it'll cost your seat. It don't play safe, it don't kiss feet. But if you walk that line with your chest upright, you might bleed today, but you'll sleep right. Say it anyway, even if your voice shakes. The cost of truth is still cheaper than fake.
Knees down, eyes closed, mouth shut. Is that faith, or just fear in disguise? You kneel so quick when the bell rings loud, but you vanish fast when truth draws a crowd. You raise your hands in the temple light, but clench your fists when it's time to fight. Eyes shut tight while the world burns red. You say God will fix and go back to bed. You speak of faith like it's soft and kind, but ignore the mess that he left you to find. You follow rules but forget the reason. Worship habit, not heart, like it's holy treason. You're not loyal, you're just scared of sin. So you lock your mouth and hold it in. Your verses, you know the lines, but skip the part where truth costs time. You fear the noise, so you choose the pew. Forget the prophets, they died for truth. You bless the food, but not the fight. You praise his mercy, but fear the light. You think obedience is staying mute, but real devotion that walks with truth. You fear disgrace more than God's wrath, so you take the easy coward's path. Pray all you want, repeat the script, but heaven don't hear what fear is gripped. Your silence isn't holy, it's complicit. Your stillness isn't reverence, it's retreat. You weren't made to fold and flee. You were built to rise and speak. Knees down, eyes closed.
matters more in one act of courage than 1,000 quiet prayers. So, open your eyes. Stand.
God doesn't whisper in injustice. He roars. Justice isn't politics. It's his language. Don't talk to me about God. If you're chill with wrong, don't post your verses. When the weak ain't strong, don't say peace. While you sip your tea and walk past pain like it ain't on me. Justice ain't left, justice ain't right. It's divine fire, it's holy fight. It ain't negotiable, it's not a trend. It's the cornerstone on which saints depend. You sing your psalms, but miss the scream. Truth ain't soft, it cuts clean. Justice is God's language, loud and clear, spoken in blood, in pain, in fear. If you don't speak it, don't say his name, because God don't deal in silent shame. You kneel to pray, but won't stand for right. Then you don't serve light, you serve stage fright. Real prophets weren't liked, they were jailed, stoned, chased, but they spoke the storm straight to your face. Every holy book, every sacred line, point to the poor to crush the spine of people broken, still holding ground. That's where his voice is always found. He don't dwell in gold or fame or shows. He's with the widow where justice grows. If your God keeps you comfortable while others bleed, you're not worshiping God, you're worshiping greed. Justice is God's language, loud and clear, spoken in blood, in pain, in fear. If you don't speak it, don't say his name, because God don't deal in silent shame. Justice is not a request, it's a command. And if you claim his name, you better take a stand. I didn't do it, but I didn't stop it either. And that's the part that haunts the loudest. I saw it happen, the punch, the lie, the way her dignity was left to die. I saw the silence fill the air, like it was holy, but it was just cowardice dressed in prayer. I looked away, I swallowed my voice, told myself I didn't have a choice. Told myself it's not my fight, but truth don't sleep when you kill the light. I wasn't cruel, but I wasn't kind. I was just a shadow in the back of time. Forgive me for watching. Forgive me for knowing. Forgive me for doing nothing while evil kept growing. I wore a cross, I said the prayer, but I left justice bleeding there. I feared backlash, feared the heat, so I just nodded and moved my feet. Now I carry the echoes of silence, more brutal than any act of violence. Not what I did, but what I didn't. Not the blow, but how I hit it. I saw the cost of truth and chose the sale, but peace can't live in a coward's tale. No one saw me do it because I didn't, and that's the wound that never stops bleeding. Forgive me for watching. Forgive me for knowing. Forgive me for doing
growing.
This is my prayer, not for blessing, but for redemption. Because I watched when I should have stood.
It looks like faith, it sounds like prayer, but it's hollow, no truth in there. You got the robes, you got the beads, you got the verses and the holy reads. You got the posture, you play the part, but there's a hole in your hollow heart. You kneel on rugs, you fast for days, but treat the poor like they're in your way. You preach of love, quote the light, but won't speak truth when it starts a fight. You're scared to bleed, but you wanna shine. Faith without courage ain't divine. This ain't faith, it's theater. This ain't truth, it's wallpaper. If you don't move when the world breaks, then what you call faith is just hollow shape. You tied your coin, but steal your voice. You pray for peace, but fear the noise. You post your gods in every frame, but won't defend a child in pain. You want heaven, but skip the test. You want comfort and call it blessed. But real faith ain't soft and neat. It's rough, it's raw, it stains your seat. You can't buy truth with a holy look. God don't care if you read the book, if you never lived it.
Faith isn't in the ritual, it's in the resistance. It's not how you pray, it's how you show up when it's hard.
This ain't faith, it's theater. This ain't truth, it's wallpaper. If you don't move when the world breaks, then what you call faith is just hollow shape. Hollow faith makes noise. Real faith makes change.
Yeah, you say amen, but then what? Did your hands move? Did your feet walk? Or did it end where your lips stopped? You shout amen like it seals the deal, but God ain't fooled by words you feel. You ask for peace but won't make a sound when the world cracks open and blood hits ground. You repost quotes, you type so true, but don't show up when it's time to do. Faith without follow through is fiction. You talk redemption but walk in contradiction. Yeah.
Amen without action is noise in the wind. Faith without friction is dressed up sin. If your words got power, then where's the proof? Say less with your mouth, do more with truth.
Yeah, you close your eyes, but saw the news. You heard the scream, still didn't move. You love the songs, the holy feels, but skip the work where it gets real. God don't need another echo chamber. He needs soldiers, not soft disclaimers. If your prayers end when the service does, then you're just a fan, not someone he trusts. He don't need praise with no plan. He needs hearts that stand. Faith is not punctuation. Amen is not the end. It's a start, the launch, the fire. If your prayers die on your tongue, they were never alive to begin with.
Amen without action is noise in the wind. Faith without friction is dressed up sin. If your words got power, then where's the proof? Say less with
didn't whisper, they thundered. They didn't fit in, they stood out. So why are you hiding in comfort when you were called to confront? They weren't rich, they weren't clean, they didn't post, they made the scene. They stood in courts where liars reigned and dropped truth bombs like heaven's flame. They were hunted, hated, feared, exiled, but still they spoke with holy wild. They didn't fold, didn't fake, they broke the system for the people's sake. You want their blessing, but not their test. You wear the robes, but skip the rest. You want their blessing, but not their test. You wear the robes, but skip the rest.
Stand like a prophet, loud, unshaken. Truth is a sword, not a prayer that's faked. And speak when it's fire, rise when it's rough. This world don't need fans, it needs prophets tough. Stand like a prophet, loud, unshaken. Truth is a sword, not a prayer that's faked. And speak when it's fire, rise when it's rough. This world don't need fans, it needs prophets tough.
They spoke in deserts, fought with kings, walked with nothing but changed everything. They didn't beg for safe applause, they answered pain like it was God's call. They wept alone, but stood in crowds. They didn't cower when the hate got loud. You talk of faith, but fear the cost. Truth ain't comfy when lines get crossed. You say speak up when it's cool to do, but where were you when the lies came through? You say speak up when it's cool to do, but where were you when the lies came through? If your truth is silent when power roars, then your faith is a locked up door. Stand, not when it's easy. Stand, when it's pricey. Stand, even if you're the last one left.
Stand like a prophet, loud, unshaken. Truth is a sword, not a prayer that's faked. And speak when it's fire, rise when it's rough. This world don't need fans, it needs prophets talk. Stand like a prophet, loud, unshaken. Truth is a sword, not a prayer that's faked. And speak when it's fire, rise when it's rough. This world don't need fans, it needs prophets talk.
Stand alone, but don't stand weak, because silence is betrayal, and truth is how prophets speak.
You thought it was a metaphor, a warning, a parable, but judgment is real, and it's coming for all of us.
You played the part, you said the lines, you wore the cross, you read the signs, but when they needed your voice, your stand, you vanished fast, blood on your hands. You thought mercy was a get-out clause, while you stayed silent, breaking heaven's laws. You prayed for wealth, you prayed for grace, but never once faced your faith. You thought you'd bargain at heaven's gate, but justice don't deal when it's too late. Judgment is not a metaphor, it's truth in full form. It's every choice, every silence becoming your storm. You can't unpray your cowardice, you can't outrun the weight. You had the chance, you knew the truth, now stand before your fate. You thought God forgives meant God forgets, but even grace demands regrets. It's not the sin that seals your name, it's the comfort that fed the game. He saw you nod, he saw you dodge, he saw you watch behind the facade. You shook in prayer, but stood for none. Now your silence speaks, and the verdict's done. No metaphors, no pretty prose, just truth stripped to its bones. This
This is not poetic, this is not performance, this is judgment, and it's real. Not flames, but the mirror, not torment, but truth, unfiltered, undeniable, and your judgment is not a metaphor, it's truth in full form. It's every choice, every silence, becoming your storm. You can't unpray your cowardice, you can't outrun the weight. You had the chance, you knew the truth, now stand before your fate. This is not poetry, this is not art, this is the end. And truth is all that's left.